UvaldeRadio.net. Good evening. Happy Friday evening. We are here at Party on the Plaza, downtown Uvalde. We're just parked right up here in front of the historic Uvalde Grand Opera House, built in 1891, the second oldest functioning opera house in the great state of Texas. And not only are we just going to have a great time with vendor shopping and music and contest prizes and more, but we got a little surprise, man. All the way from Northeast Texas, special guest, Ryder Grimes.
How you doing? Good to see you.
Good to see you way down in these parts, man.
Yeah, man, I love this town. I've never been here. This is my first time visiting, and I just got to say, y'all have a beautiful little town here.
It's easy to fall in love with. Check out that opera house, man. Isn't that cool?
That's so neat. I love old buildings like that. We have a lot of stuff like that back in Northeast Texas. Obviously, it's a lot different up there, but we still have old architecture, and I love that. There's just a different type of beauty to it. So I really love y'all's town square down here.
Yeah, you got to love it whenever the cities are into the preservation and, trying to keep these things as authentic and, old school as possible. Within reason. There's still, it's an old building, but, it's got what it needs in the areas, too.
So, it looks like it does. It's very beautiful.
Maybe one day we'll have you back and playing on that stage.
That'd be pretty neat. Yeah. Maybe so.
It'll be like an Opry show of another kind.
Yeah, a country Opry show.
So Ryder, man, you're kind of down in South Central Texas, hanging out. You got a show in Austin tomorrow. Is that right? Understanding?
Right down South Austin in Buda, Texas. We're playing at Buck's Backyard.
It's beautiful in Buda.
It is. Yeah. It's been raining there a lot, from what I hear. But I'm here in Uvalde and the sun's out, so hopefully the sun will trickle its way back up there towards Austin way. That'd be great, man.
So we really appreciate you, coming down. You're in the area, and you gave us a call, and you're like, hey, you know what? Can I stop by? And that's just really cool of you, because we're not. We're not close. We're not real far away, but you still had to make you kind of got out of your way to come visit us. A special trip.
It was down here, but man, it was worth it. First of all, because I love y'all. Thank y'all for spending my stuff and keeping us on the road. Y'all are the reason we get to tour and make music in general. Y'all spin it, so thank y'all for that. But man, it was such a beautiful drive out here. Like I said, the sun's back out again. It's been raining for a week back home, and I got down here, and it's been raining down in the Austin area. So it's good to be down here, and the sun's out, man. So beautiful drive out here. It's always great to see you.
Now you're a young man, but you've got some hit records behind you. You're hitting the road pretty hard. How far southwest or south have you gotten as far as your shows go in Texas?
Man, shows.
It's kind of hard to get all the way out here.
It really is, and I would love to come out here sometime. Maybe we could put something on. But as far right now, we're going to San Antonio on February the 8th at the Stable Hall out there. So that's probably as far south as we've gone so far.
And that makes total sense for somebody in North Texas because, like I said, it's hard to string that many shows around and kind of make it worth it, especially if you're doing like a weekend warrior type thing, which most of you guys are.
Yeah, it's usually weekend stuff. We're doing that one on a Thursday, which is a little different for us, but I'm still stoked. Man, I love San Antonio. So, but like I've said multiple times, it'd be cool. Maybe we can put something together down here and get on down here and route it.
The next time you're in San Antonio, just give me a call. We'll work something out.
All right, that sounds like a plan.
So again, Ryder Grimes is here from Northeast Texas. Actually, you're from a town called Poetry, right? We talked about that last time, right?
That's correct. I'm from Poetry, Texas. Population 2,000. There's not a lot of folks there, and just a good old country town. I'm very proud to be born and raised and still living in that town.
It baffles me whenever artists say that they're from a town smaller than Uvalde, which is kind of hard to do,
Well, one thing I love about this place is that it's that small town feel. That's what I love about where I'm from, and I just really think that growing up in a small town like that is really a big inspiration behind.
I was going to say, does that affect your music? Yeah.
It definitely does. I write country, but that's just it. I feel like living that country lifestyle really plays into it a lot. So I'm very thankful. I have a place out on a property we call it the barn, and it's just right out there in the middle of kind of our little pasture, and there's a bunch of oak trees and cedar trees and stuff. So I just go out there, and that's where I write. It's got a lot of windows, and I just look out and look at the scenery, and it's great. I can't say enough about it out there for sure.
That's an interesting thing you're saying because you're pretty young, and to hear that you've kind of got the discipline of finding a place to write, I think that's something that maybe many writers, musicians, maybe don't figure out for many years, right? Maybe they just kind of write on the go or when it hits them, but to know that you're specific and intentional about when you write, that's kind of a cool thing to hear.
It definitely is neat, and I've learned that tactic from some of my heroes, and all the sirens going on.
Oh, look at that, man. There's a whole big... It's a whole posse. Wow, look at that. There's some action on small town.
Yeah.
But, boy, the Leos are out there big time. I think it's an ambulance, so...
hopefully everybody's all right.
Hope everybody's okay.
The ambulance
quick little prayer out there.
Yeah,
for
send a prayer out.
That's right. But anyway, it's just great to hear that that you're a mature writer already. So
man, I've learned from so many great heroes that we all have different ways of writing, and I don't just write like that. Like you said, sometimes it hits people while they're going. I've written some songs just driving. And that's one reason why I like driving so much, especially during the week when we're not on the road, is that I can just go out and be alone and think. So that's kind of my deal. I kind of like writing all different ways. I like writing alone. I like writing with people. So, but definitely, I mean, we have the place out there on the property, and that's just my go-to. It's some people have a cabin or anything. That's kind of my writer's cabin, and that's even when I'm on the road doing stuff like this during the week, I'll get an Airbnb or something, and I'll make it a point to just sit there and think. All right, I'm here. I'm by myself. What can I write about? I have all these ideas. I work best when my mind's focused on that. So yeah, I mean, there's my little spiel about how I write. But
now your first single that was put out to Texas radio was actually a cover song that you didn't write, but you've written, and now the other stuff now has been you've either written or co-written, right?
Very correct. The first single, Velvet Chains, obviously Gary Morris song, great song.
Got you a lot of attention though, right?
It definitely did, a lot faster than I thought. I wasn't expecting.
Well, it's a good cover, man. Your voice
Thank you so much.
Man. I think it's good whenever you can put a song out there that is beloved, everybody knows, but you put your own spin on it, but you still kind of respect the original. I think we kind of nailed that.
Yeah, I appreciate that, and that was kind of my whole goal going into it. It's like, okay, if I'm going to record a cover of something that I grew up listening to, I want it to be true, and I want it to respect the writers and Gary and everybody on that song, but I also want it to be me, because without that type of music, because that's what I grew up on, was old school country, I would not be a writer or performer myself. So I wanted to do it my own way, but still give enough love and credit to the song that made me, man. And I'm very proud of that one. And I'm just honored that I got to cut such a great song.
Well, let's go ahead and play right now since I brought it up, and then we're going to talk about you got a brand new single.
Yes.
All right. So we'll get all the backstory on that, but let's go ahead and do it. Ryder Grimes, his take on Velvet Chains. This is UvaldeRadio.net. UvaldeRadio.net live at Party on the Plaza. We're out here in downtown Uvalde till 9 p.m. at least, unless the party goes longer. We got some vendor shopping, lots of boutique clothing. There's some woodworking. There's collectibles and just some shopping out here, some delicious food and drink. And we have got freebies tonight, too. So if you're at home, you're thinking, I don't want to get outside. It's going to be cold. First of all, it's not cold. I should be wearing shorts right now. I'm not, but I should be. It's a beautiful evening. And we've got tickets to Circus on Ice, which is going to be here Wednesday, right here at the Opera House, right in front of where we are. So if you want to win some tickets to the Circus on Ice, coming out here and register to win. And we've got the gentleman you just heard on the radio right there, Ryder Grimes, Velvet Chains. Ryder Grimes is here in Uvalde. First time.
What's up, everybody?
Cool to have you here, man. Seriously.
It's great to be here. Such a cool spot.
So the last time I think we spoke to you was at one of the awards ceremonies, I'm sure. Was it the T3R or the TCMAs?
TCMAs. I remember that.
One?
Yep,
yeah,
I remember.
And that was, of course, at Billy Bob's.
It was.
Yeah, and we did an interview, right?
Yes, we did. So it was very loud in that area we were at, but it was a good time. We did get one in.
It all kind of blurs together, and you got to understand when we're out there, we do like 35 interviews back to back to back to back to back. It's crazy.
I respect y'all a lot for that. Man, that's a lot.
So the T3Rs are coming up here in a couple of months. Not even a couple months, right? And you're up for a couple of awards, right?
I am. I'm up for New Male Vocalist of the Year and Single of the Year for In My Boots, which is a song we put out last year.
Man, it's a great song.
Thank you.
Again, it's one of your originals, not a cover. So,
that is an original. Thank you so much.
And man, so I think you knew you had a pretty good year. You probably feel pretty confident about Best New Male Artist nomination, right?
Man, it's been a great year for sure, but there's so much good competition.
There is. There's some great talent,
The lineup for that award, there's everybody in every category.
Do you remember who's? I know Chuck Weimer's in there.
I can pull this up right now. I know Grant Gilbert's in there.
Oh yeah, Grant Gilbert, he's good. Yeah, it's a pretty stout category, but you had a great year, I guess is what I'm getting at. I wasn't surprised at all that you made it in the Best New Male Artist. However, Song of the Year?
Song of the Year.
That was a little surprising, I'll be honest, because
there's the same thing.
A lot of great songs, and by some veteran artists. I mean, when you're talking about songs by Bree Bagwell and Wade Bowen and Randy Rogers and Aaron Watson, you know what I mean?
Yes.
Pat Green had great music out last year. I mean, all the big names that always put out great songs and have their pick of the litter as far as the songwriters go.
Yes.
For a relatively new guy like you to get in that category, I think it's fantastic. So I'm I'm not saying you don't deserve it. I'm just saying.
Thank you, man.
On a professional level, I was a little surprised. So.
Oh, and I agree 100%. When I got I'm sorry, I was on my phone looking for that, man.
That's all right.
There's a lot of posts, but I was looking for the nominees. But man, I said the same thing when I opened up the email or whatever that day from my promoter. It was like, wow, did we really do that?
Yeah.
Like, there's so many other songs. Like, why me? And man, it's such an honor to get to be alongside so many great male and female artists, man. It always gets hard for me to talk about stuff like this because I'm very thankful.
Yeah, you got to get better at that because if you win the award, that'll be crazy.
Yeah, I got to do
right?
that speech, man. That last time I had to do a speech after an award was not it was not planned. It was the same deal. I wasn't expecting, and that's how I feel about this. I'm very thankful, man. It's been a great, 2023. It's still hard to say 2024.
Right.
I'm still used to saying 23, but 23 was such a great year, and I'm just thankful to get to do this. I'm very thankful that God, put me in this position to get to play music for a living and write songs for a living. So being up against that caliber of artists is just great, and it's just an honor to be alongside of them, man.
So what do you attribute to getting this far in such a short time? Because you really kind of took the Texas country scene by storm, really.
Man, that's a question that's hard to answer. I've had a lot of help from heroes and friends and brothers and sisters. Everybody has each other's back, and I've met so many great people, whether it's playing with them or writing with them or whatever. It's just we always hit it off, and I've gotten so much good advice, and I've been playing music for 10 years. And I've always wanted to do it professionally, and when I had the chance, Daryl Dodd produced my last project. He sang harmonies on Velvet Chains, what y'all just heard, and I think Daryl having his guidance and knowledge was a very big help in getting me started.
That's an endorsement that you
definitely
for sure.
And man, it's just an honor to get to know people like that because I'm just thankful because without people like that, I don't think I would be as far along. And it's a learning curve for sure, but it's been a great one, and I'm very grateful to be here, man.
Some people probably think that you're related to Curtis, and there's in the family. It's no relation, right?
No relation to Curtis. Curtis is awesome, and Curtis is a great dude, but no, we're not related.
But you guys do kind of have a similar timbre. You got a little more. You're a little deeper and lower.
People have said we sound the same.
But it's. No. They're clearly different, but you're in the same. You can make the argument that there's this in the same vein.
Some people have made that, and like I say, Curtis is awesome, man. He was one of the first people I ever got to open up for when I started doing this professionally. So that was cool. Yeah. Cool story. I got to open for another Grimes when we got started.
Now, have you gone back and looked in the family tree and see maybe if there are some branches there that are crossing?
Yes and no. I don't think that there is. I'm not going to say we're not, but I'm not going to say we are.
Isn't he from East Texas too?
I think so.
I'm pretty sure.
Man. Yeah. Man, you never know. I might have to do the whole test thing. The kits that you see on the TV commercials.
Fingers and swabbing.
Now there's another Grimes, Luke Grimes.
Oh, that's right.
Off of Yellowstone, and he's a singer too. It's like, okay, that's my cousin. No, it's not, folks. It's not my cousin. But they're all talented.
But let's start that rumor just to capitalize on some of that energy. That's good. Again, we've got Ryder Grimes here, his first time in Uvalde. We're going to get you to plug in the guitar and maybe do a live thing out here for the crowd out here. That'll be a lot of fun. But let's go ahead and let's talk about what's coming up. Obviously, you're excited about the award ceremony that's coming up, T3R. If you haven't cast your vote at trrma.net, you still got time to cast your vote for Ryder Grimes. And while you're there, UvaldeRadio.net, we're up for 2 categories, too.
Go vote for them.
Yeah, Internet Radio Station of the Year, and I actually made it a top 5 for Internet Radio DJ,
That's cool.
Which is cool. So here we are, man. We're like VIP.
We're hanging out together.
We're the big deal these days. So y'all please cast your vote at trrma.net. Ryder, what's in the future, man? I know you just put the record out. Was last fall, right?
I did. I put that out in November, and we're already about to go cut another one, a 12-song record in March. I've been up in between Nashville and Texas writing it with a lot of great writers, and we have some good country music coming soon, and I may start playing some sneak peeks at the live show. So if you come out to a live show, you may catch a little bit of the new record. But
now, how would you say it differs, if at all, from the material that we're used to hearing from you?
Man, I don't think so. It's solid country music,
stuff.
Man.
Good.
And it's just kind of the style I'm used to writing, and I enjoy it, and the people like it. And if the fans like it, that's what matters to me the most, because that's probably my favorite thing about being a musician is seeing the fans react to music that you make. It's the best feeling in the world, and it's an honor because we've seen that. But as for plans, we're just touring and writing. That's my goals for 2024 is play hard, write hard, and have fun. That's the main goal.
Any plans to work with anybody in particular, whether it's musicians or duets or any other special people you're looking forward to working with?
There's definitely one coming in the future.
Oh, okay.
We're working on some details. As details come, I will start talking about that.
Very
but
good. All right.
There may be a duet coming in the future. I'm not denying it. It's happening.
So let's go and talk about this because we haven't really talked much about it. I mean, your voice, man, it's golden. I mean,
I appreciate that.
When did you learn? When did you figure it out that you got that voice that can go somewhere? Was it your mom and dad that told you? Was it church? When did you sing along to something, or whether it was the radio or somebody told you, and you're like, I can do this?
Man, getting started growing up, I didn't want to be a singer. I had no intentions on being a singer or a frontman or whatever you want to call it. I was content on being a guitar player because that's what I do. I'm a guitar player, and that's how I got my start being a musician and being on stage, is playing guitar for other people. And I always sang, though. I was always around music growing up. So it's just, I'd catch myself humming or I'd catch myself singing. It's like, okay, maybe I can do this. I would do it, and I didn't really I was very shy, and I still am, honestly. I was very shy, so I wouldn't sing in public, but I would start, go to open mics and all that, and just get more comfortable. And one day the people, I guess, started listening, and it really just kind of changed because I would play these little acoustic shows, and people would show up and say, we're here to see you. And it's like, whoa, maybe I can do this. And I've always had a very supportive family still to this day, and just a mix of my family, myself, and just the people that have come to the shows in the past really have given me the confidence that I can do this, and that's my goal, man.
So, like, back then in real time, though, were you like playing guitar, and then you're like your mom and dad? And let's be honest, the way family and friends are. You're in a band. There's some Yahoo singer that can't sing as good as you. We all know it. Everybody knows it. And then your mom and your family, and they're all like, dude, you should be the singer. Did you hear a lot of that?
Well, what's cool about my start is the band that I played for, my dad was the singer.
Oh, okay, so that didn't happen.
So no, it didn't. Now I'm not saying it hasn't for other
right.
Times, but I played with my dad most of the time, so it was always my family. It was all involved, and that's one of my favorite things about where I got my start from, is that I got to do it with my family, and my mom and sisters were always at the shows. And my dad would, back when I was starting wanting to be a guitar player, Brad Paisley was my biggest hero, and I had the guitars like him, the Paisley guitars and all that, and I was determined. I even wore the cowboy hat like he does. And when my dad would play at the restaurants, the ones I could go to, I would get like, all right, I'm gonna get up and play, and I'd sneak my electric guitar in, because they would go leave to load in, and my mom would go separately before the show started, so I'd sneak my guitar in. And I remember before I could actually play, they would throw me up on stage, plug a cable in, and not plug the cable in on the other end. But it didn't matter. I was having a blast. I couldn't play a lick, but I was having a blast up there, and it just, everybody talks about that to this day, and it's still one of my favorite stories. And then finally one day, they said, all right, you actually know how to play guitar now a little bit.
We're turning it on.
Yeah, we'll actually turn you on now, and that's when I got the start. And then my dad would let me sing, Merle Haggard songs with him, and that's kind of where the love for it came from, man. So definitely a unique backstory for sure. A backstory I'm very proud and very thankful for.
Wow, fantastic. Again, we got Ryder Grimes here. He's visiting Uvalde. He's in the area playing Buddha tomorrow night, right?
Correct. Buck's Backyard.
Let's go and talk about right now the brand new single. You just released a new track called 8 Seconds at a Time. Go and give me the backstory on this, and we'll get it on the radio.
Well, I wrote this song when I was 15 years old. This is the first song I ever wrote, and when I was growing up wanting to be a songwriter, I always said, I want the first song I ever write to be about rodeoing, because my dad rodeoed and a lot of his friends did, so I always heard the stories. And one night I was laying in bed, I woke up in the middle of the night and had this idea in my head, which is the chorus of the song you're about to hear, and I said, all right, let me write this down. I still have the note in my phone, and I wrote it down, and the next morning I said, all right, this was good, I got to finish this thing. And I went and finished it the next morning in an hour, and that was the first song I ever wrote. And I met a lot of friends and family, I call everybody family if you're close to me. I met a lot of friends, brothers and sisters because of this song, and this is the song me and Daryl Dodd met because of. He heard it and said he wanted to work with me and produce me, and this was the first song I ever got to cut in a real recording studio. And he produced it, so y'all are about to hear a song that's very near and dear to my heart for sure. So. Very
cool story, man. Again, Ryder Grimes here. Here's a song. It's called 8 Seconds at a Time, and you're hearing it on UvaldeRadio.net. UvaldeRadio.net. That is Ryder Grimes, his brand new single, hot new single called 8 Seconds at a Time. And Ryder's here to tell us a little bit about it, man. Great song, dude.
Thank you so much. Thank y'all for spinning it.
Yeah.
It's definitely one of my favorites I think I've ever written, and it was the first song I ever wrote, so that makes it even cooler.
I mean, that's got to be cool. I mean, because, first of all, if it's the first song you ever wrote, I think most writers would say the first song they ever wrote is garbage. You know what I mean? Like you're just not, you're still learning, you're green, all that. But to know that you got that was your first song, and it was good enough to actually, first of all, get Daryl Don's attention, and then flesh it out, and we'll do whatever you did to it to make it sound like that. It's fantastic, man. I mean, that really is a testament to your songwriting capability.
Man, that truly means a lot. I love quality songwriting, and it was definitely a blessing to write a song like that. We're all our biggest critics. I'm a huge critic of my work, and it is such a blessing to have gotten to write a song like that as my first song. I mean, I don't like to brag at all, and I'm not trying to, but I'm very, very proud of that one. And
well, we were even saying off the air, while the song was on, that rodeo songs are kind of really the other thing to do right now.
They really are. Man.
Cody Johnson's just writing a ton of them. The rodeo songs are cool. I mean, you even got like Kylie Fry, and you know what I mean. Everybody's doing great rodeo songs, and they're just so. They're just so earthy and real, and it's legit. You know what I mean? In a time where, and again, I don't mean this as a diss, but at a time where Walker Hayes and Kane Brown, and you know what I mean, where everybody's kind of doing these kind of hip hoppy kind of country songs, there's a place for that stuff, in my opinion.
Yes,
I'm fine with that. But it's nice to know that we have artists that are writing legitimate country music about rodeo and land, and you know what I mean?
Man, it's just I agree with you, man. It's wild, but I love to see it. It's the traditional sounds making a comeback, but in a different way, and I do love that. I love that rodeo is being talked about so much. I didn't compete, but I do have a very strong love and respect for the sport of rodeo, especially because I grew up around it.
Yeah.
And, it was really cool to write a song like that. And then I've had that song for over 4 years in my pocket, just recorded. I've had it for 5, not recorded. But, that's just the deal. I wrote that, and then Dear Rodeo and all that, Cody Johnson, and so many other great rodeo songs. So I do have to agree with you. It's really neat to see the rodeo circuit kind of becoming in song form.
Right, yeah.
I mean, you have the Western type songs, Marty Robbins and all that, which I love, but it's cool to see that there's still that touch of Western influence in music today. It's timeless. It lives forever. I love it.
So tell me, lyrically, with the new record you're going to be, working on this year and the music, more of that kind of stuff, or are you dabbling in any other kind of feels or subject matter?
Man, the thing with me is I like to write story-type songs about real life, and that's what I'm trying to focus this next record on, is just life. I want it to touch on heartbreak, sadness, but I also want to touch on the highs of life, the lows of life, the middle time. I mean, that's just kind of my inspiration behind this. Is I haven't written... I write all the time, try to every week, but I haven't, seriously written, I'm sitting down to write for a record since I wrote the last one, which it came out in November, and I can't even remember the last song when we finished the last song on that project up, writing-wise. But a lot has happened, and every day you experience something new that could be influenced, and that's really what I've been doing. I've been sitting back and just living life and just taking it as it comes, just what happened this day, and I want all that to be an influence on the record. The good days, the bad days, the high days, the low days, man. That's the influence. It's just life. That's what I want it to be about.
You talked about, you've got family that's behind you. You talked about your influences a little bit, but you did mention, songs about heartbreak and whatnot. Oh, just a quick personal question, man. You got a girlfriend, a lady? What? Who's breaking your heart these days, or who's making you sing these awesome love songs?
I actually don't. And that's what people ask me. They're like, "Do you have a girlfriend?" I'm like, no, I don't.
So do you like it that way? Does it make things more complicated or less complicated?
My deal is I just like to be busy. So I'm just.
Well, girlfriend to keep you busy.
Like I said the other day, I'm just taking it as it comes, man, and you just go day by day. I don't know where the heartbreak or the love influence came from. Like I said, I like to write about stories, so maybe I like to hear other people's stories. You got a little red when I asked
you that, by the way.
Hush. No, I ain't got one. And I ain't had my heart broken in a long time. But it's just I hear stories of other people, and it's like, man, I put that in my back pocket. That was one thing I learned. Toby Keith is one of my biggest heroes, especially as a songwriter, and he always said, put it in your back pocket. And I took that literally, man. You hear somebody sad about something or happy about something, okay, I'll take a snippet of that.
You hear that, ladies? Ryder's just ready for you to break his heart. He needs more material. You gotta put that in his pocket.
No, I'm on no heartbreaks right now. None.
Well, you're staying busy, man. Again,
yes.
Nominated for a couple of awards at the 14th Annual Texas Regional Radio Music Awards. You guys get online, trrma.net. Go and cast a vote for Ryder Grimes for Best New Male Artist, right?
Correct. New Male Vocalist.
Song of the Year.
Yep, In My Boots song of the year.
Wow, fantastic, man. Well, go and plug like the socials and the website, where we can find you online and all that.
You can find me at Ryder Grimes Music. That's all my social medias, and RyderGrimes.com. And Ryder Grimes is spelled RYDERGRIMES.
That's like Ryder Truck.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. You know the truck's going down the highway?
Big old yellow truck.
If you're thinking about me, just think about that truck, and that's how you spell my name. And then you'll have it.
Well, man, it's been really cool catching up with you. I really appreciate you being out here in Uvalde. And it's kind of a beautiful night, isn't it? This weather, since that sun got out of our face.
It's great. And like wonderful. I said earlier, I've been in Austin and in DFW, and it has just been raining and nasty. But when I came down here, drove through San Antonio, that sun came out, and it's been great. The weather feels great. It's nice to, we were hunting last week. It was 4 degrees out in the Panhandle where I was at. To come out here and it be 70 and wearing short sleeves, that's what I'm talking about. Bring on the summertime.
Well, you brought it with you, man, so we appreciate that, bro. Again, Ryder Grimes here. Thank you so much for checking in to Uvalde and sharing your talent with us. Hopefully we have time to play a couple of songs out here. But we're going to go and wrap it up here on the air and get back to the Party on the Plaza. We got some food and to drink out here, so whatever you want is on me tonight.
Oh, I appreciate
we're going to get into our regular programming and have a good time here. If you're still at home here locally, you got time to enjoy Party on the Plaza right in front of the Uvalde Grand Opera House. And that's going to wrap it up with Ryder Grimes. This is UvaldeRadio.net.